All right, amazing. We are live on Facebook too, and this is the first webinar actually with founder and CEO of Apploye, Sheikh Shouraf. How are you, Sheikh? Is it fine? Are you doing good?
Yeah, I'm good, and I'm really looking forward to this webinar.
Yeah, I'm looking forward as well. I mean, the stuff you're developing, it's pretty impressive, and considering that you're working on it for just a few months and you already have like 15 team members, that's impressive work. Like, you're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you. It means a lot. Yeah.
All right, guys. So this is the first webinar out of 7 webinars with Sheikh, and we'll be discussing pretty much everything about Apploye. And this webinar will be about Sheikh and how did he start with Apploye in the first place. And we'll be talking about his journey, and of course he will show us the software as well. And if you have any question, just feel free to ask us below in the comments on Facebook, if you're watching it on Facebook, or if you're watching it on Zoom, just feel free to ask us here in the Q&A section or in a chat room, and we'll answer them all in the end of the webinar. So my name is Jakub, I'm CMO of PitchGround. I'll be hosting these webinars. At least I hope, because last week I got sick and Aaron needed to take one webinar like instead of me, and I think we can start. So Sheikh, tell me more about Apploye. Can you tell in just a few sentences what do you guys do?
Okay, so our title is Apploye is time tracking, scheduling, and monitoring for productive workforce. So basically, Apploye helps to improve the productivity in your company or in your remote workforce, so whatever it is. So the singular goal of this product is to increase productivity and reduce time wasting in companies.
All right, that's perfect. Sheikh, I know that you prepared actually some presentations, some pitch decks. So right now, if you could start sharing your screen just by clicking the big share button below, and that'd be pretty cool. By the way, this is actually a pleasure that I'm the first guy who makes you to talk on camera. It's amazing. All right. Yeah, this looks perfect, man. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so I think we can start. If the full screen won't work, this will do fine just as well, but you can try full screen. Guys, for everybody who is joining, thanks a lot for your patience. And right now, Sheikh will walk us through what Apploye does and why the hell should we care? Because I mean, we should care, because this software will blow your mind, guys. It's pretty impressive what these guys built in just a few months. All right, Sheikh, why don't you start?
Okay, so how did I build Apploye, or why did this idea came to my mind? So basically, after I returned to my country, so I went abroad to study. I was starting a software company. So basically, it was offshore outsourcing company, but I quickly realized that SaaS is building a product-based company is my passion. So I was looking for ideas, and what I felt the most important problem in many companies is that the productivity. So I also talked with many founders, and they told me that it is very difficult for them to manage productivity in their company. So that's why I was thinking, like, what could be done to improve productivity of employees. Besides, I had to hire some offshore employees as well. So I was paying 20% fee on Upwork for tracking the time of the offshore employees. Mm-hmm. So every month I had to pay like $10,000 to offshore employees, and I was giving like $1,000 or $2,000 to Upwork.
That's crazy.
So that's when I realized that the remote work industry is growing very fast, and due to the explode of internet and different novelty sites, people's attention spans are decreasing. So that's why many organizations are really facing this problem with the employee productivity. So after some research, I decided to build Apploye. This is the story, and we started 8 months ago. So first we built our desktop application. So that, since that is the most important piece of technology that we needed, because we were not sure that we will really be able to build this desktop application, because the technology itself is very difficult for that. And after that, we worked on a web application and mobile application as well. And
all right, so in 8 months, literally, Sheikh, you built your desktop application. You built
our technology stack itself is very like so we have a desktop application for Windows, Linux, and Mac, and then we have a web application, and then we have a mobile application. And also for Windows, there is for 32 bits and 64 bits, and for Linux as well. So really, like, our piece of technologies are diverse. So within short time, we really tried to accomplish this great goal. And also PitchGround really helped us, because from the very beginning, Udit was following up with me and really guiding and forcing me to finish it very quickly. So thank you guys as well.
No, the reason why I was asking Sheikh is because PitchGrounders laugh when they have like multiple options, right? They don't really usually like only like cloud solution or web app, but when they can choose from all the applications, Android, iPhone, desktop for Linux, Mac, Windows, that's amazing, because you're giving them all these different options they can choose from. So pretty impressive job, considering that you build it all in 8 months. Like, hats off, this is really good. All right, let's continue.
So this is a study by Forbes. So when I say that like distraction and time wasting in the workplace has become epidemic, so many people like don't understand the idea. So that's why I am showing these statistics. So you can say that like a good part of your employees, like 31 and plus 31, 62% of our employees waste like 1 hour every day, so which is very normal. So like employees can be distracted and they can like have their own time, but like if you can see the last 10% of the employees, which these people actually waste half of their day. So this is really not acceptable. So if you have 100 employees, you can really assume that you have at least 10 employees who like they work half day and then waste half day of their time. So this is very alarming, and this is the statistic.
All right, what are they doing when they're not working usually?
Basically, so I shouldn't say social media or Facebook or Twitter in general, because I can categorize them by novelty sites. So when developers and designers, they use social media during the work time, this could be included as a time wasting. But when a marketer, when a person who has to work on social media to promote their business, so that is really work for them. But really what happens is that if you allow everyone to be be on the same pace, then what happens is that people become very distracted time to time. So for example, they are coding or they're building a very different important things, and that time if there is a notification in their phone or desktop, so what happens is that they check that application, and even if they come back to the work, there is a scientific term, it's called attention residue. So a part of their attention is stick with that notifications. So this is the distinct part where people waste their time. And also so when you are mentally challenged, so you will be easily distracted. So you will try to find something that is easy to do. For example, you are stuck with a very tough development challenges, or you are stuck with a difficult job. So it's a human tendency to open a new tab and open something that is very easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is scientifically proven as well.
That's interesting, and I want to go back to the thing you said with attention residue, or what was that?
Yeah, it's called attention residue.
Yeah, that's so interesting, because I was thinking that I'm wasting my time only if I'm like on a Facebook, right? At the exact moment I'm on the Facebook. But what you're saying is a little bit different, because you're saying that you are wasting time and you're not being productive even after you leave Facebook, because
Exactly.
you need to build up that attention again, that the deep focus you had maybe
Yeah.
before. That's interesting. That's a really good point.
Actually, our brain is not designed for multitasking. So it's the same like computer. So computers give you an illusion that it's multitasking, but it's not really multitasking. It's doing one thing at a time, but on a very faster pace. So what happens is the same with the human brain. So we cannot do multitasking. So that's why when we juggle with different like novelty sites and work at the same time, it's not only destroy or not only harm the productivity of the organization, but it really also harm the career as well as well-being of the employee himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I am not only trying to help companies or organization owners, I'm also trying to help normal employees to do the day-to-day work on with more focus. Like there are many people who are using Apploye just to track themselves, that what they are doing, like to discipline themselves.
Yeah,
So
I think we will get into this like quote unquote positioning thing a little bit later. That Apploye is not really a spying app or anything like it, but we'll discuss it further.
okay.
All right.
So what I said before, that remote work is the future of work. So, but still there are some problem that is is harming the growth of remote work. So one of them are managers, owners, and CEO. They cannot track their employee or freelancers. So when you are working in an office environment, so a managers or a CEO easily can discuss with employees. They can interact, and also they can track the time that, so that in office hour there is a specific time for starting the office, and there is a specific hour for ending the office. But when you're working remotely, it's very difficult. Like you are working on your own pace when you feel like it's to work. So many CEOs, they feel, or organization owner, they feel that this is not the right way to work. So that's why they don't employ remote workforce. So
And
number one problem.
and Sheikh, sorry for jumping in, but even though that I'm sitting in the office, doesn't really mean that I'm doing the stuff I should be doing. I can still be on Facebook in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit there from 9 to 5, but I can still like waste my 1 hour or 2 hours on doing the stuff which
Exactly.
really doesn't matter.
My last statistics was based on all employees. So that should suffice for all employee bases. But remote work is more difficult than that. So
That's true.
there's no one to see your productivity, or no one to like make accountabilities. So beside that, there is issue of trust, accountability, and transparency. More often, what happens is that when people hire remotely, they hire person from different time zone, from different culture and work ethics level. So
Mm-hmm.
it really is very difficult to build that trust, like at least in initial days, for like this trust, accountability. This happens like gradually, but at the beginning days, so it's difficult. So that's why many people are very afraid to hire remotely. And also managing payrolls and billable hours. So when you're working from 9 to 5, you're working for a definite hours. for remote workers, they are working on different timelines when they feel like working. So time tracking is very essential. So for example, you're working 2 hours in the morning, and then you are doing something else, and then come back and work for more extra 2 hours. So this is how remote working works, and this is the freedom that remote workers actually want, and this is the whole point of remote working. But when you don't track the time, so it's actually very difficult to manage the payrolls.
I see. I see. So basically, if I'm working remotely and I wanna, or my employer want to track my time, I should actually start tracking my time on my terms. Basically, that I decided I wanna work for 2 hours in the morning, and I'll be tracking these 2 hours, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what I like, because it's not like, hey, you will turn on Apploye at this exact moment, and I will be tracking everything what you do, including, I don't know, going on Facebook and watching cat videos on YouTube. You only turn on Apploye when you decide that you are working, and it's actually good for my productivity as well, because I won't be watching like these cat YouTube videos.
Okay. So also platform like Upwork or other freelancing platform, they are taking 20% fee, which is very like it's a big overhead cost. So many employers are now going to Upwork, like, and they are Upwork has an hourly time tracking tool where you can see the employee activities and track them, and based on that particular activities you can pay them. But if you are going to use that, you have to pay 20% of the fee. So it's also an overburden for both employees and employers. So these are I think the most the problems that is hindering the progress of remote work. So like I say in jokingly that remote work is the future of work, and Apploye is the future of remote work.
I love it. Okay. So remote workers are your main focus at Apploye?
I said like one sentence at the beginning is that any organization who like the goal of Apploye is not to be a task management application. It's not to be like the other application which helps like making payrolls and everything. But the singular goal of Apploye is to make like the enhance the productivity of employees and reduce time wasting. So if your organization falls in that category, then you are the actual customer of Apploye. But what happens is that the remote workforce faces this problem most. So that's why we are focusing on that. But any organization could really use it and make benefit from that.
All right, Sheikh, from your experience, what is the usual time or usual situation where a company reaches out to you that, hey, I need to boost my productivity? What problems are they facing that they actually are decided to pull the trigger and start tracking their employees? Because I know that you have some paying customers already, so you can actually share this experience.
Like one of our customer, he came to us because like he was paying very high salary to his employees, and he had this very high expectation towards his employees that these guys are doing like great thing for him. And so he really could not understand that which employee is giving his the most like giving him the most output. So he installed Apploye, and after that he was really shocked that the employee who he thought that are the underdogs really was the best worker, and the employee who was like he was giving very high salary to that employee, and that employee was very entitled on everything, but he really found that like these employees work maybe 1 or 2 hours every day, and the rest of it they really like they don't do any work. So so most often when people come approach to Apploye is that when they face this problem, or when they really see that their company is not going to the vision that they expected. But what I suggest is that try Apploye at the very beginning when you don't have problem. and see yourself that if it can actually improve your productivity and make workforce transparency. Like, don't come to us when you are messed up. Try to use time tracking when you're actually in healthy position in the business.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting because it shows it's showing the truth. It's showing the truth what is actually happening in the
Another
work.
guy like recently told me that he gave $60,000 to a development company for building a SaaS product for himself. Like, he was a solo founder, so he saved this money after a long time, and he really invested this money for building that product. But that product really didn't come, and like, he was actually scammed out. So and then now
That's
he's using
scary.
Apploye to improve his team productivity. So actually, I really don't want to focus on these negative aspects or negative stories.
Mm.
But I also have companies who are using it, that they are healthy companies, they are good companies, and now they are better using Apploye.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think we can continue with your presentation. We have a lot of stuff to discuss.
Okay, so this is a small analysis that I made. Is that if you like from the last statistics, I can if you make an average, then one employee, each employee of your company on average they waste 1 hour and 15 minutes on average. So even your best employees waste 30 minutes of their time. So which is doable and which is okay. So actually, if you can reduce this time wasting by at least like 30 or 40%, then how much save you can make? So uh, if you like give your employees salary like $2,500, and they're wasting 1 hour every day, so at the end of the month you are actually losing $400 for each employee. So just imagine if you have 10 employees, you are losing $4,000. If you have 100, you are losing like 40,000. So which is really a big amount. So I would not say that you will like all of this time wasted will go away after using Apploye.
That's
But
what I wanted to ask. Like, you cannot like really achieve that 100%
yeah,
productivity.
perfection is in utopia. It's not in real world.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can like at least reduce this time wasting by 50%, it really impacts your company.
Mm-hmm.
That is the core message that I would like to give.
All right.
How Apploye helps your company. Number one, to manage remote employee if you have any. And many companies actually they have like for example, in our company we have 6 remote employees and 11 employees who are working in office. So so many companies are operating like that. They have employees stationed in office, and they also have remote employees. Because
Mm-hmm.
in today's workforce, if you really want to find the best people, if you want to find the most talented person, you cannot look on your city. You have to look forward in your world. So you have to find people from other part of the world. So these mixed companies, so they can really get this benefit of using Apploye and improve their productivity.
Mm-hmm.
And create transparency in the workplace. Why I am talking about transparency? Because if everyone knows that their every steps is being tracked, so I would not say that for a developer using Facebook is a crime or something like big issue. He can do that, but within a limit that his CEO or manager wants. So actually, what they are doing is completely okay, but his manager or his CEO has to know that, because they have all the right to know what you are doing in your workplace, because during the work time at least. So he like managers, they don't have right to track you when you are when you're in your home or doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're in office, they have the right to track you. So when everyone's like activity is being tracked, so if any incidents happen in a company, even after 1 month or 2 months, you can really come back and see that why this problem happened and why this incident really took place. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I am focusing on transparency. And another aspect of transparency is that many times when a team work together, for example, there is 4 developer in a team. So you actually don't know who is, as a CEO, you don't know who is actually best worker or doing best, like the making most impact. So when like many often there are introvert employees who don't come forward to the CEOs and show their and boast their performance. So that when like we are as a human being, we are very biased. So when we like we don't see the contribution of that employee, that's why we might not reward them appropriately, and this create a discrimination in the workplace that uh, that people who can talk much, who can show themselves, and who can make their managers happy, they are the really they are the real gainers. But who people who work quietly, they really often make losses.
Yeah,
So
like what I said a few minutes back, that Apploye shows the truth, and I didn't mean it in like a bad way that you would find someone who is scrolling through Facebook, but I mean it will give the manager or leader the ability to actually recognize the talents and and see that, hey, John is doing really better than I was expecting. I should maybe talk to him and say thank you. And with Apple, you're not solving only the productivity problem, but even employee engagement problem. So the people are more interested in working in a company. So eventually, it's quite a domino effect. Eventually, they might not leave. So it will save you way more money on hiring and everything. So yeah, bottom line is that you will know the truth about Apploye and I mean about your company, and you will know which company, which employees are performing the best, so you can actually reward them.
Yeah, actually, your point is very correct. Because many often the best developers, best engineers, they work quietly. So it's very strange that in a workplace that some employees, they work quietly, but they don't get the recognition. So this should also come forward. And Apploye reduce the headache of managers that I said that you do, like when many people think Apploye as a tool for micromanaging, but it's really not. So you can you don't need, if you want, you don't need to check a screenshot or activity of employees every day, but you can check it in every month. That is quite fine. So and also this reduce your headache, and it is accountability. So when people knows that their every move is like they can it's recorded, and it will be in the system for a sustained amount of time, then their accountability level will really increase, and also show the dedication level.
All right. My question, Sheikh, is about the employee side of Apploye. It's actually quite very similar to words. Anyway, if the company decides to implement Apploye into their workflow, into their workspace to increase productivity and employee engagement, what is the first reaction of the employees of this company? Is it like, hey, you want to spy on us, or?
This depends on the communication that this organization is showing to their employees, because it really depends on that. For example, in our organization, we are using it and we are very friendly to our employees. We never for using Facebook, we never fire our employees or do anything like the most important point is that how you communicate this message. If you are communicating this message is that, hey employees, we don't really trust you, so we are installing Apploye in your computer. So this is really going to it's really going to be problematic. They will think that their organization is not trusting them. But if you communicate the message that I said, that to bring transparency in the company, to bring accountability company, and also you have to show your employees that what they will get out of Apploye. So when I someone asked me why we are different from our competitors or some other people. So while building Apploye, we really focused to make it a product which has compassion toward entrepreneur and employees both. So what do I mean by compassion is that an entrepreneur, he has invested his hard-earned money and he has invested his life to a company. So he has the right to get most productivity out of his employees. At the same time, employees are working hard for the company. So he has also right for recognition and getting benefit out of that company. So from our discussion, it will be it will come up that what benefit that entrepreneurs will get, but what benefit the employees will get. One of the most important thing is that their ability to work hard and work deeper. So I would like to give an example of I recently read the book. It's called Deep Work from Cal
I know
Newport.
Deep Work.
So actually what happens is that the world is too much distracted nowadays. Everyone knows everything, everyone can search everything, but people are not looking deeper into works. So he said that to develop yourself and really become like employable and really differentiate yourself from the chaos of the world is that you have to work deep on a specific thing. So what do you think that if an employee works every day, 8 hours or 7 hours every day deeply on a specific job, like after 3 years or 2 years, what will be his position in this like distracted world? So if a developer works 7 hours every day, or a marketer or salesperson, he works like deeply and giving his full effort to the company for like a specific amount of hour every day. So what will be his position after 2 years? So he will be really a pro in sales, or he will be really a pro developer. So that's the message that the organization also need to show to their employees.
I will ask you now really tough question, which maybe won't resonate with your whole employee bubble. Why should we actually track hours? Isn't better to like assign projects like, hey, you need to finish this project task, and I don't really care when you will do it, how you will do it, but this is the deadline.
Okay, so this is also a good way to making people responsible for their task, not their time. So you are saying that what about we do both? Like if we we're counting them on both their responsibilities, also for their times. So if we track time, what also happens is that you are getting the insights as a leader. You understand that what is the amount of time this project needed, and which division or which employees worked, or how many hours on this project. So when you are making a new plan or a new project or a new venture, you will really understand from this insight that what is your time projection should be.
I see.
So that's also important for tracking. And also another part of this is that if your employee is not a full-time employee, you need to make them payment. And for that payment, that there are provision for one-time payment that you are doing. You would do X and Y and Z, then I will give you this amount of dollar. But if you're hiring an employee for hourly basis, that I would pay $25 per hour, then what happens that you have to definitely track their time.
I love it. Like it all boils down to that you as an employer or entrepreneur or manager, leader, you're just acquiring new data about your employees and about your team, so you can actually optimize your workflow. I now I can finally see how Apploye is not just time tracking platform. Like it's a way more. It's a quite complex solution, and I like the vision, and I like how complexly you think about it. Impressive. All right, so tell us about the core features before you will show us.
So these are the features that is existing in Apploye. So I will show the roadmap as well. So roadmap is very robust. So this is what we have done in 8 months. So really next 8 months would be we'd be able to roll out many more features. So number one is online timesheet. So track where and how time is spent in your company. Then employee monitoring. So employee monitoring comes in 4 different formats. This is the screenshot tracking and apps and URL tracking, and then software usage tracking and location monitoring. And then in employee scheduling, So we really try to make this scheduling very robust for shift employees. And then project and task, there is a miniature version of project and task. You can manage those in Apploye. And apps and URL tracking, this comes under employee monitoring as well, and productivity level.
Mm-hmm.
So should I show some core features, screenshots? So this is the dashboard of an organization. There is this is weekly. So in this particular week, your organization has worked this amount of hours, and which division worked most, and this part is which division worked less, and this is the screenshot features. So for a particular employee, we can say that for engineering team and these particular employees, these are the screenshots, and this part is the activity level of the employees. So this activity level is generated in different way in different products, but in our desktop application, so each second, if you are not clicking and your mouse, or you are not scrolling, or you are not writing, then it will be regarded as an absent. The activity on that particular second will not be counted. So this is how.
What if I need to what if I need to work on paper and just write something down?
Actually, the core message of Apploye that I want to give is that Apploye is actually your eyes. It's not a judge. So the managers actually know that this person has to work really, this person has to work on paper. And also, for example, there are questions that, for example, a designer has to think a lot of things. So a data entry specialist will have to have working levels more than 80%, because that is their job. But for a designer, if he has to design and make creative thinkings, so they will not achieve that level of productivity level. So manager has to understand that. So I am not, the job of Apploye is to show that their productivity level is this, but the decision you have to take is up to the leader. It's not our call.
I see. Okay.
So if your activity level is very high, that it will be green. Then if the activity level is on average, then it will be yellow. And if the activity is below average, then it will be red.
Yeah, and also I mean, even if it's red, for some employees, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily bad, right?
Yeah.
It's all about knowing the activities of these employees.
And also, for example, in a particular time chunk, so all of these screenshots are for 10 minutes time intervals. So for example, you are working, you are having a meeting, or you are working on pen and paper. What you can do is that there is a note section. You can write a note to your leader or manager that I am working on paper, or I am working on a meeting. So this way, the communication is even more efficient. This is important for remote teams, for a team who are working in-house. So managers or leaders actually know that which employee, the habit of employees. So that's when you don't need that. But if you have remote employees, at that time you can write in a note that I am working on paper, or I am working on a brainstorming things.
All right, Sheikh, we have a lot of questions. Everybody, I know I'm noticing them. I'm writing them all down, and I will be answering them in the end of this webinar. So please stick around to know the answer. All right, Sheikh, I think we can continue.
This is the URL of employees. So what sites they have visited, and also and how much and the amount of time they have visited. So one thing is important, that we only show the main URL of that site, but we don't show the sub URL, which our many competitors show the sub URL. But we really thought that is a breach of privacy, because many employees might be a contract worker, and if we show the exact link of their Dropbox or something else, then this could be really a breach of privacy. So you will only be seeing the actual website they are working.
Okay.
So next is apps usage. So which softwares or application they have been using. This is the statistics of that.
Mm-hmm.
Is it. And then this is the project reports. So actually, while using report, one thing that I mentioned earlier is that you should not compare between all the division of your company. Like you should not compare engineering team with marketing team. You should not compare with marketing team with data entry or sales team, uh, because each team, they have different kind of needs. But actually this is the report that will come, that like there is a weekly report and monthly report. From that you can decide who is the best performer, and who is doing like giving the most hours and most active employees, and then you can reward them based on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you can also get this kind of graph that these are the employees, and these are their activity levels, average activity levels. So you can see that these 3 employees they're actually working less, but these employees are salespeople. So it is expected that their activity levels will be less.
It's expected that salespeople are working less.
No, not working less, but they will be working on phone. They will be working.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, salespeople can create like one of the biggest impacts in the company.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though that they would be working like 5 minutes a day, it's all about if they know how to sell. Like,
all about
that's a
quality.
different. All right, go on.
So this is the daily timesheet. Uh, of daily timesheet can become from an employee and different divisions as well. This is the weekly timesheet of a particular employee. So many people are using the timesheet feature of different SaaS applications. So they wouldn't need to use that. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, I said that the core plan of or vision of Apploye is to improve productivity and reduce time wasting. So we have many features which don't serve that purpose, but these are the features that helps in the organization, and uh, you don't need to go to other timesheet application for doing these things. So we added those. So when PitchGrounder will ask us to make more features, I would really ask them to ask us the features which are relevant to this product, to the core vision of the company. Is that will this feature reduce time wasting in a company? Yes or not? If yes, then we'll really do it.
I would encourage people to like ask for any feature, and you can just simply explain your vision, and if it resonates, because not so many people right now, few hundred people saw this webinar, but I mean, you need, as a CEO, at least from what I think, repeat your vision over and over to everybody. So they will actually understand what you're up to. Okay, so yeah, go on.
So this is the schedule feature. So I would really look to spend some time here. Is that in your organization there might be some shift employees. For example, so you have some support employees that for a specific period this employee will give support, and after some time there will be another employee. So you can make that shift in this schedule as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, few minutes ago you said that you will work on your own pace. So your organization will not be needing to give you a specific time that you have to work on this particular time. But here is the exception, that for example, if your organization needs to make this webinar at this particular time, so they can make this schedule, and you have to come and start this schedule. If you don't, then it will be like shown in the report.
Okay.
So this is the one exception, that the schedule you have to maintain and you have to adhere to the schedules.
All right. I think we can go quickly through all these features again
So this is the
in the live software.
Desktop application. So this track the whole things. And okay, so I would like to say some words about the mobile application. If you have if you happen to have a remote a field force who are working in sales, marketing, or outdoor, even some technicians, we have internet service providers who are using Apploye for tracking their employees and when they're going for a support. So this field force features is really necessary for tracking the location of employees. Sometimes it happens that employees make irrelevant expense claim that they have gone to these and these places, but really they didn't. And again, there are some it's really difficult to track them where they have gone in a particular day and make like statistics based on that. That what should be the optimum route for us to dispatch the employees. So these insights from this mobile application. So if you have an employee who are working outdoor, on the start of that day, they might not be going to your office and make an attendance. So they can start from their home and they can like go to the places that they need to go. During this whole time, their every move and their locations will be tracked via GPS tracking, and you will be able to see it on a dashboard. And also you can make a schedule for them that for a specific time, for example, on 2 o'clock, you have to meet this client. So you can really assign them for that.
I love it. I love it. So yeah, no useless coffee stops and anything like it, like 10 times a day. You can actually track it all for all your outside workers, for field force who is not in the office.
So there is also daily timesheet and weekly timesheet feature in the mobile application. And this is the GPS location tracker. So when they have started, so if you click on each of these red lines, you will be able to see that the task they were assigned to and where they have gone.
Impressive.
And also the last but not the least, so we have some little achievement during this time. Actually, we opened our company through Stripe Atlas program, and then we were included approached by Google Cloud for startups. So we received a cloud cloud credit up to 100,000 US dollars. So it's a really great milestone for us, because actually what happens is that our tool it's resource intensive. So it's keeping a lot of screenshots. So we really need a lot of server pressure. So I think with $100,000 we can really make that initial jump. As well as, and we also we are approved in Amazon Activate. So these are some of our little achievements as well. And also we have raised a small seed round of $150,000 from some friends of ours. So this is till now our progress as well.
That's great, like considering the time frame and everything. Thanks a lot for the preparation. I love it, Sheikh. It's really cool information. And I think we will be going through all this in the upcoming webinars as well. Okay, not so thoroughly.
Now I would like to talk a few words about our future roadmaps, and then I would like to show our live software.
I would actually do it in a different order. I would just show the live software, and then I would show the roadmap, if we can do it like this. What do you think?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is Apploye, our company. So I would love giving data and show demo. So this is actually our actual company, and here you can see different organizations under this company. And so if you are owner of multiple organizations, you can really manage that in Apploye. And then this is the dashboard. So in the dashboard, there is two things. One of is your company, and then is your personal information, that how much you have worked. And then this is the screenshot feature. And in a screenshot, if I pick an employee, maybe like our designer, And so the internet, okay. So I can see his screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
He was working on our website, and these are his activity levels. So actually, another thing is that if you have if you are working on multiple screens, it's also fine. You can work on 10 screens, but all of those screenshots will be collected.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, this is apps. These are apps. Okay, so he had been using Illustrator and Explorer, Chrome extension, all these kind of applications.
Mm-hmm.
URL. So these are the URLs. And location, we are not having a remote like our field employees, but the location feature will be just like I have shown before.
Mm-hmm. So just to summarize the activity tab, screenshots are the actual screenshots taken every 10 minutes from the screenshot of the worker.
It's every 10 minutes picked on random. So it
Okay,
will
picked
not
on
be
random.
on
I see. Okay.
1 minute. And also what we have done is that we have made a probabilistic arrangement that the most of this screenshot will happen after 3 minutes and before 8 minutes. So in a median time.
How long are these screenshots saved for?
6 months. We have data retention policy for 6 months.
Okay.
After that, it will be automatically deleted.
Mm-hmm. All right. Then the apps are showing the actual apps the worker was using, and then the URLs are, well, URLs. But it's important to say that URL is not shown like the whole string. So, like for example,
only the main domain would be available.
Only the main domain. So it won't be like dropbox.com / and all these different characters, which would actually tell some privacy stuff about for example Freelancer, but there will be only dropbox.com.
Okay, and only this activity part. This is the monitoring section of our application, and all the other is the time tracking. So I can really differentiate our product by two package. One is monitored and another is unmonitored. So there are a lot of time tracking application like Toggle and Harvest and all kind of like a time tracking application. They don't have this monitoring features. So actually our unmonitored plan is something like that. You can track your employees time and activity, everything, but not activities. So for example, if you choose unmonitored plan, or if you feel this way that it will be difficult for you to communicate this message to your employees, and your employees might think that you are trying to spy on them. If you are afraid of that, you can actually use our unmonitored plan. On that case, these 4 features will not be available. Everything else, it's just
I see. All right, one question about the screenshots. Can the employee download and save the screenshot for legal reasons?
Actually, the employees will be able to see this screenshot on their own dashboard.
I see. Okay. So employees have access to their own screenshots.
Yeah, they will have. And also, I told a few words that this product was built on the compassion on entrepreneur and employee as well. So employees, they will be able to delete the screenshot if they want, but they will have to make a case that why he has done so. For example, you are working, you are not aware, so you might be doing some personal work. So the screenshot has been taken, and you really don't like that screenshot to be transmitted to your manager or CEO. On that case, what you can do is that delete that screenshot. But if you delete that screenshot, then your timesheet will be deleted, which means that in the eyes of your organization, you haven't worked on that particular time. And also, you have to make a note that why you have deleted this screenshot.
I see. Okay.
So it works both way. You cannot just delete every screenshot, and then again, if you want, then you can. You can 1 or 2.
Makes total sense.
Okay. And then timesheet feature, you can see the daily timesheet feature here. As well as weekly timesheets. and project. So every employee work under projects. So you have to make a project first and then assign an employee on that project. And also you can assign task by employees or also by divisions. And we're trying to bring some integration with task management solution like Trello,
I see.
ClickUp, and other stuff. So it will be really helpful then. And these are the schedule. You can add a new schedule for your employees. The schedules are based on a project and a task. So you have to assign an assignee, then a start date, and you can make a multiple schedule. For example, you want to make a schedule like some employee has to do some work on every Wednesday or every Thursday. You can do that.
Okay, that's handy.
Then comes the reporting part. So these are the reports.
That's really cool. So you can see all the employees like in a one dashboard and their productivity.
Yeah. And also you can add clients. So if you are working, for example, if you are a organization who are working under many agencies work under clients. So if you are assigning a specific employee for work of a specific client, you can assign you can make a client, and you can, when you are assigning an employee, you can attach that client to that employee. So, yeah.
Okay.
So these are the basic dashboard for the web app, and we also have mobile application and desktop application. So
yeah, I know that, guys, that we went through all these features really quickly.
So I would like to show our roadmap.
Yeah, but let me finish. So tomorrow we are actually having the special webinar where we will cover in details all these features. So that's the webinar you really shouldn't miss if you are considering purchasing Apploye. And if you have any questions about the specific features and everything, please join tomorrow. I will tell you in just a few moments how you can actually join. So you won't miss it. But right now, Sheikh, please show us the roadmap, because that's what is everybody waiting for, actually.
Okay, so this is our nearest roadmaps, but we will actually make this product more robust on our vision that to reduce time wasting on our company. And the first thing is payroll. Making payroll, we will be like based on employee hours, you can pay them and make payrolls. Also invoicing, you can create invoice, and project budgeting. So if you have hourly employees, for example, you have if you have a specific project and you have $10,000 for a budget for that project. So you can get a notification that when a particular budget is finished, something like that. And add more reporting. So we'll be making advanced reporting based on divisions and which division is working, and where the time wasting. Like for example, we can find some trend in the company that this is the most time waster in a company. So this kind of report we will bring. And timesheet approval. So this is a popular feature. So we'll make an arrangement that the timesheet can be approved, and time off request. So employees can request time off, and employer or managers can approve it. And we don't have iOS application yet, so we are working on it.
Okay.
Also geofencing. So geofencing is that, for example, if you geofence a particular location, that location could be a construction site, could be an office, and when employees come to this site, only then the attendance or the schedule will be started. They can
That's impressive. Okay.
they can start something when they are not in that location. And also popular integrations. So we're making JPI integration, which should come within a month. After that, we'll be looking forward to make integration with popular products like Trello, like Asana, ClickUp, Slack, and many other. So we really want to make this make Apploye an integrated product. Why? Because our vision is to reduce time wasting in the company. But we same time we can understand that people has different kind of needs of softwares. So if we want to do all of this in Apploye, it will be a headache, and people are like this would not make a focus in the company. But if we can like make really great integration with all many products, then people will really use Apploye for what it was being built.
I see. All right, Jake. This is interesting. I mean, many good things are on the way. I love it. Thanks a lot. Can you please click back into your web app, and I will start asking the questions we received so far. So the first question is from Aaron, and he's asking, what feedback are you seeing from remote workers using it?
Okay, so the remote workers, they are like the most important feedback is that they are like, I am feeling that they are in the office. I'm not feeling that they are remote, and they are doing the same, that they're feeling that they're part of the company. What they're doing on their work is being seen, and everything is being tracked. Number one. And also my remote workers are very like active, and they're very proactive to use the product as well. And sometimes I reward them based on like their performance. So on average, I would say that our remote team productivity has been really high.
All right, and would it make them happier that they are using Apploye, or do they actually feel like limited and that you are spying on them? Actually,
this like I said, it depends on the message you communicate with them. So, like if you are giving this message that this organization belongs to you as well, and we all need to make this organization transparent, and we all need to make the productivity of everyone we want to increase the productivity of everyone. So that way, I don't feel they will feel isolated. So it depends on your approach to them. But actually, like I said, that if your approach is different, then I cannot I cannot guarantee that they will take it very positively. Another thing is that Apploye, regarding the spyware thing, there are some applications who are very invasive, like Active Track or some other apps, which don't require you to start your time tracking. So the minute you are opening your computer, everything is being tracked. So whether this employee is working on your personal stuff, whether they're working on this personal stuff or everything, so everything will be tracked. Actually, we had a lot of pressure from many companies to build this feature, but we didn't. We lost many enterprise kind of companies. Just we didn't want that employees has to consciously click that start button, and then after that we will track them.
I love it. I love it. I mean, sometimes you just forget some tabs open from the previous day, and you just don't want your employer to see it. Right?
And also, we give them provision for deleting the screenshot as well.
I see.
So this should be a relaxed for employee, but also a relaxed for employer, because if they delete this screenshot, as if they haven't worked on it, so they have to make that work again.
Okay, let's move to the next question. And the question is from Rakul, and Rakul is asking a lot of questions. Thanks a lot, Rakul. And he's asking, is there a QR code which can be embedded in the employee card, and it can be scanned to punch in the time and time in and time out of employee?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, a lot of attendance like features, they have that kind of provisions. But actually, when we bring the geofencing features, that will not be actually required. So we will have to go a very different route to make that implemented. So after geofencing is on, you can actually point your office, and then employee can start their work. So you can take the attendance that way.
All right.
Yeah, but the simple answer is no, we don't have that.
Okay, okay. Another message from Rakul. I'm working in HR. Would like to see more features added to this, including leave management, payroll, etc. I think leave management. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I actually know. So we have time of request that would serve the purpose of leave management, but one thing is important, that employee will not be able, will not work as a whole HR system, because there are actually HR system which are like ERP system and namely and many kind of those product. But employee is not a HR system product. Is a, like on top of HR. It actually helps the
Yeah.
productivity and reduce time wasting. But we bring some features of HR. Why? Because we thought that this would serve the purpose of most of our clients. But if you have like 2,000 employees or 15,000 employees, then you really would need to like you would need to have a different HR product, where you will be having make a leave allocation and then making employees appraisal, those kind of things. Those are very different from our scope of our product. But on an average, you can use employee as your HR tool as well, uh, to simply put that way.
Okay. Another question: how many users are available?
Um, I'm not sure if you want to like have 500 employee, you can do that. Like it's up to you. That so you can add many as user you want. But if you have many users, then you can really ask our support to help you on board.
Okay. How many team members is allowed? I think it's actually the same question, or isn't it?
Question.
All right.
Yeah.
And message from Nusrat, and it's not actually a question, but I think it would be cool to read it. And employee doesn't breach employee privacy. The employees have access to their own screenshot, so there's no chance of manipulation. I love it. That's true. Okay, question from Joseph. Is there a notification system to alert the employer if a certain app is not running on employee's desktop?
So what did you mean by certain app? Is it the employee itself?
I think that what Joseph means is that employee should be using for his job, for example, Adobe Photoshop, and
Okay.
it's not running. So is there this feature?
So actually, our desktop application don't have the ability to access other application, that whether they're running or not. So it's technically impossible for us.
No, I mean, but you can track apps.
Yeah, we can track apps, that how long these apps have been running, but what's happening internally, we cannot access.
I'm not really sure if we answered Joseph's questions.
Okay. So, for example, you are using Adobe Photoshop. So, employee can track from the operating system that this person had been using Adobe Photoshop. But what's happening inside Adobe Photoshop? This is not a concern.
You're going too deep. Joseph was asking if you as an employer can get a notification if the employee is not using the application that they should be using.
Okay, so we don't have that.
Not the way how they should be using it, but the Adobe Photoshop is not open like at all.
Okay, so this is a very good question, and I would like, we don't have that feature, but I am writing down as a feedback.
And now the real PitchGround experience starts, because you will be getting a lot of those.
Okay.
All right, Joseph. So no, this feature is not.
Thank you, Joseph, for bringing that in.
All right. And another question from Rakul. Can you please show how we can get the in time and out time of employee?
Should I show in desktop application? In desktop application is just a click of the button, but in mobile application, I cannot actually show in the screen.
I think Rakul, we will cover this in tomorrow's webinar, so please make sure you will join. We don't really want to go into the so detailed features today, because tomorrow's webinar is actually about all these
Yes.
nitty-gritty. All right, question from Somia. What's the minimum number of employees?
Yeah, can you explain again?
What is the minimum number of employees that they can be using?
Actually, that would be 2, because there will be one manager and someone whose activities is being tracked. So 2.
And really good question again from Somia. Thanks a lot. When cellular network is very poor, how do we track the on-field employee?
So the location of employees are tracked via a default system in Android. So there is 3 ways that this track is happen. Like one is GPS built in, another is the internet and Wi-Fi hotspot, this kind of stuffs. And so what another is cellular network. So what happens is that if there is no cellular network, this the location will be like this would be tracked. But when the employees comes online, then it would be relayed to the system, so they can see it afterwards.
I see.
But if there is no internet, then the location would be less accurate based on.
Okay,
But
and
you still get an overview of the location.
yeah. This question is quite similar, not similar, but in the similar category from Rakul again. For geofencing, static IP is required.
No, it's geofencing will be wholly based on the map. No IP would be required. So as I know that IP can be a thing, like using IP, we can also take the attendance, but it would be really difficult for many people to actually implement those IP restrictions. So we are not bringing these features.
All right, I don't see any other questions. So thanks a lot everybody for asking and for giving us all these questions. I hope that we answered them. And if not, just join tomorrow. So let me share my screen quickly. Can you please confirm that you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, so guys, if you like this webinar, we will be actually doing more of those every day from now. So today is Monday, and we'll be doing 5 webinars this week and 2 webinars next week. So today we covered who is Sheikh, and we gave you an idea what Apploye does and about the vision and everything. But tomorrow it will be more in depth. So we will cover all these little features, all this nitty-gritty about Apploye. And so if you have any questions, more detailed or more technical questions, please join us tomorrow at the same time. It will be live on Zoom, and it will be live on Facebook page and Facebook group as well. So you can watch everything, how everything works in detail. Then on Wednesday, how to effectively manage a remote team. So this is actually a really good topic which Sheikh came up with, and it's all about if you're having remote team, people who are literally maybe on the other side of the world, how to manage them and how to make them deliver on time. Then Thursday, 8th August, Productivity Hacks 101, improving productivity in your organization. So if you feel that your organization or your company should be more productive, join us on 8th of August. Friday is Learn SaaS App Development and how Sheikh and his team of 15 people build Apploye. This will be super interesting, and it will tell you more about the background and about all the technology and all about, for example, security and how secure are your data and so on. So make sure you will join us on Friday. And then there are last 2 webinars next week, how to use Apploye as a marketing agency. So if you're running marketing agency, join us on Monday. And on 13th of August, which is a Thursday, monitoring a field service team. So if you have sales reps running around your city or country, Thursday, 13th of August is the day you should join. Now, normally, Yeah, and one last thing, you can find all these topics on apploye.pitchground.com // schedule. But please just go to apploye.pitchground.com and register here. Just book your place here. Next webinar is starting in 22 hours. Now, normally I would just go to pitchground.com /products /Apploye. But right now, Udit is still working on the page because we want to make it as awesome as possible. So you can just be sure that we will announce that the page is live in the Facebook group. So stay tuned. We prepared some really good packages for you. We prepared some really good licensing options, really good descriptions. So you can actually grab your license right away. So please make sure that you will be checking our Facebook group, because we'll be announcing that the link is live and that you can finally buy this amazing app for increasing productivity of your team. All right, Sheikh, thanks a lot. This was amazing.
Yeah, thank you as well, and thank you, PitchGround community, for being with us.
How did you like your first webinar in your life?
Actually, it was a great experience. I was really nervous, but there was nothing to be nervous, I guess.
No, I mean, you know your stuff. You're experts in this field, so there's no need to be nervous because you answered pretty much every question. You know it's really deep, and it's actually an honor to sit here with such an expert. And
it's also an honor to work with PitchGround and working with you as well.
Thanks a lot, Sheikh. All right, so everybody, we'll see you tomorrow, and Sheikh, I will see you tomorrow as well.
Yeah, bye-bye.
All right, thanks a lot for joining, everybody. Bye.